Hi there, Dead Ideal Boy here, back with another video on the channel, and this time it's a race from last week that we're going to show you. I haven't had much time this week to do much racing, and to be honest with you, I don't know what you think, but the races don't really stand out this week. I was a little bit disappointed when I seen the three races that were on offer, but I will at some point race them, and I will probably make a video if we get some good some good content. But yeah, let me know what you think about this week's races, but also let me know what you think about this race, because like I said, it's a race that I just felt was good enough to make a video from, and you'll see why when we jump into the action. So we'll get into that, but just quickly let me say thank you to over 3,000 of you who have now subscribed to the channel. You've absolutely, you've blown my mind with the support, so thank you. But yeah, if you like this video, then hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, then yeah, you know what to do. Subscribe. And yeah, let's jump into the action, and hopefully you'll enjoy the video. It's a WRX fest, as we know. In this particular race, we had some really quick drivers coming from the back in the form of Dan TGT, a really quick driver from the UK, and we had world record and world tour finalist Josetti coming from the back as well. So there was a lot of pressure, even though I was at the start. Well, I was in pole position, bizarrely enough. Don't really know how I managed to pull that one off, but I somehow did. We've also got some really quick drivers immediately behind us in the form of Raul, Rivera and GT Leah. So yeah, it's a race where I had to be on my toes, but as we've discussed in previous videos, that P word, pressure, is absolutely 100% on me, and it always is. Starting from pole position in a top split daily race it's a bit of a nightmare for me. I much prefer starting a couple of places back on the grid. Lets you settle into the race, pick up the slipstream, get a feel for it. When you're in pole position, everybody's expecting you, one, to be very, very fast, and two, to be on your game from the first corner. They're expecting you to be absolutely on it, and if they even sniff half a chance that you are off the pace, they'll jump all over you. So getting this first lap under the belt safely was absolute paramount importance. As you can see, we're coming round to final two corners of lap one, and we've successfully negotiated the any potential slip-ups. You can see behind we've got a little bit of a gap there, so we're comfortable coming up to turn one. Turn one is an absolute nightmare at the best of times because it's so easy just to overshoot. And actually, this was the race after the race that Basic Ollie made on his channel, so if you've not checked that out, go and check that out, and you'll see all sorts of carnage involving myself, Rory, Ollie. Yeah, so I had just come off the back of that race, which wasn't the best for me. Jumped into this one almost to try and redeem myself, and yeah, it's just one of those races where things either go for you or they don't. So you can see here we're still maintaining that gap to Raul behind us, so all good here, absolutely no problems. Feeling our way into the race, getting a few laps under our belt, everything's going to plan so far, and that's unusual for me. Normally something has went wrong early doors in a race, particularly when I'm in pole position, and you'll see here we're just going to drift a little bit wide and pray to the gods that we don't get a penalty, but there we have it, the 1 second penalty, and that's a disaster for me. I was absolutely raging with myself at this point, because all I had to do was take that corner normally and maintain the gap that I had built up, because now you can see I've not only picked up a 1 second penalty, I lost all my composure and my momentum, and we've now got Ray bearing right down on us. You can see him he's on our outside. We're going to have to go narrow here. Ray's going to get a nice cut back though, and you can see that he's now going to have the run on us. down to the tight right-hander. And the thing is, what did I say, Ray? I meant Raul. Maybe his name is Ray, I don't know. But there we go. We've got Rivera coming back here, and he is going to just absolutely use Raul's car to the maximum benefit, and he's just going to slip up inside as well. So it's a disaster, I'm not going to lie here. We've lost 2 positions, we've got a 1 second penalty to serve, and we've now got Leah coming up behind us as well, although she has also got a half second penalty to serve. Now, what I didn't realise at the time was that she did have a half second penalty to serve. So I'm going to pull over to serve my 1 second penalty, and I just thought I'm going to just come off the accelerator here to let her past, and then it took ages for her to get past because, like I said, I didn't realise she had a half second penalty to serve. If I'd realised that, I would have just floored it and kept the position, and as you can see there, it was, you know, it threw me all over the place. Again, my concentration and composure was all at sea, and I almost binned it, and I've went from pole position, comfortable lead, to 4th place, you know, losing, as you can see, quite a bit of distance to the cars in front. Luckily, we've got a healthy gap to the cars behind, so that did give me the opportunity to just try and settle down, try and get back into the race. But yeah, it was not going very well at all, and like, I hope people can see the kind of journey I'm on through the game from the previous race that I made the video of, and if you've watched Basic Ollie's video, you'll see from that as well that, you know, I'm certainly not the most consistent of drivers, and I certainly do let things get to me when they start to go wrong. So this was an absolute real test for me, this race. Skipping forward to the start of lap 5, you'll see here we're coming up to turn 1 again, and you just see off to the left hand side, Rivera has an absolute nightmare. He is a victim of turn 1, just losing it a little bit on the AstroTurf, and off he goes. So to be honest with you, that had quite a big impact on me at this point in the race, because I felt that, well, there's a quick driver, he's made a mistake in front of me, we've picked up a position, it happens to everybody, so it's not just me that's out there making mistakes, because up until that point, I felt like out of the top 4 drivers, we'd all broken away, and I was the one that was making all the mistakes, and everybody else was going along nicely, lapping consistently, error-free. So that was kind of getting to me a little bit, and when I seen Rivera go off, it almost gave me the confidence that I needed to push on in the race. Now if we skip forward midway through lap 8, you can see then how much that I'd managed to catch up on Leah in front of me. You can see P1 is still cruising out in front with a nice healthy gap, but we were getting obviously the pace together, we were starting to get more confident and consistent, and we were able to catch back up. Now got a chance for P2 and put a bit of pressure on Leah. You know, she is obviously quick, she's got the pace, she was doing really well, but you can see the back end just slides out there and she pulls over to the side, very, very sporting over. I don't know if maybe that's because she's a fellow Scot, but she kindly didn't try and fight us there. She knew we had the momentum, and she gave us the place without much of with no fight at all, so that was appreciated. And she's right on her tail again though, and she's going to think about making a move here coming down to the hairpin, and we're going to just about, you know, hit the brakes where we just about needed to in terms of being able to hold her off. And you can see there we got a great exit, and we managed to pull out a healthy gap there. And yeah, that was a big moment in the race for me, because all of a sudden now I felt like P2 was mine to lose. But that comes with its own, obviously, problems. You can see from the left hand side we've now got Josetti. It's on his alternate account, OCT. Josetti, I think that's where we're getting that from. But yeah, it was Josetti. He's on his alternate account, and he's already up to P4, so he's coming through fast. You can see he's done the fastest lap of the race. He was in the McLaren as well, so just shows you how much pace this guy has. But I wasn't thinking about him at this point. I was just thinking about getting round, you know, safely, make sure we don't make any more mistakes, just keep the gap now to Leah behind us. You can see there we've now got a healthy gap, and yeah, P1's obviously miles in front, but we've managed to work our way from P1 back to P4, back up to P2, so we're moving forward, and that's again something that I don't often manage to do in a race. If I start to fall back, I tend to continue falling back because I lose the confidence in myself to push on and make moves and attack. But yeah, we've managed to get ourselves back up to P2, so that was great. So you can see here Leah behind us, she's picked up another half-second penalty and she almost loses it. She actually does fantastic to keep the car pointing in the same direction, but you can see from behind that Rossetti has now got the run on her. So we've now no longer got her as the buffer zone between us and one of the world's fastest drivers, and he's still got 2 and a bit laps to make his move and catch me. So yeah, again, it was something that I was going to start to think about now, because I could just see his name there on the leaderboard, and that was a moment that, yeah, was going to be pivotal in the race. So was this moment, because look in the left hand side, Raul has absolutely binned it on the glitch curb on the right, and he has spun off right across the track, off onto the gravel on the left, and all of a sudden we find ourselves at P1. Can you believe this? Can you believe what you're seeing? If you've watched my previous videos, you will understand this is significant. We've managed to fight back from disastrous, circumstances at the start. We fell back to P4, nearly lost it completely and binned it, but managed to fight our way back forward, and we find ourselves leading the race. And we've got quite a good gap now to Rossetti. So skipping forward, we're now going to start the last lap of the race, and you can see Rossetti is starting to close significantly, but what we need to do here is we just need to keep our cool. Now, I sound like a broken record, but pressure is not my friend, and we all know that, I do have moments in races, so I'll leave you in suspense here, and you can, tell yourself, what do you think is going to happen here? Will I manage to hold off and actually win the top split daily race C, holding off one of the world's fastest drivers in the process after falling down to P4 in the race? Or will I spectacularly implode, bin it, lose the position, just crack under the pressure? We've only got half a lap really now to find out what's going to happen. And you can see how close Rossetti is now getting, because that McLaren, there's one thing about it, it is absolutely planted through the corners, and he can make up a lot of time. Obviously I've got the power on the straights, and this is the last opportunity I'll have really to make sure that I keep that gap. We've only got 2 corners now to try and avoid disaster. We've already had a 1 second penalty on this corner. We've survived it. We've almost binned it at this corner before, but we've survived it, and look how close Rossetti got to us by the end there. It was fantastic, and I was absolutely delighted. Even watching this back, recording this video, gives me a smile. We've actually won a race, folks, so yeah, amazing stuff. So yeah, there we have it. Daily Race C from last week, a victory in top split. Some absolutely elite drivers in that race as well, so yeah, absolutely delighted with that. Hopefully you enjoyed the race. I know it's not a race from this week. Maybe see if we can get a race from this week good enough to make a video out of, if I can, get myself up for the challenge of them. But yeah, if not, then hopefully you'll have enjoyed this one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. The channel's growing really well at the moment, all thanks to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this race and what you think about the GranTurismo 7 update, things like that. The comment section, I love reading all the comments, and I'll always try and reply. So I'll thank you all once again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.